Beautiful. Oh my God. I miss you. Oh my God. There you are. All right. I'm going
Welcome
on
to
mute.
my jungle. It's been a long time. How many centuries has it been? How many eons? So glad to be here again, to see your faces again. Thank you for showing up as usual, even though the announcement was in, we kept it in fashion. We sent it like just a few days. And as usual, even though we're starting later, I'm still arriving late. So just to let you know, not much has changed. Sorry about the red in my face. It's not because I was out in the sun. It's because of this camera making my face look red. Okay. So thank you so much. And I'm not sure how late I am to the party. I'm not so please take it away, Nizam. Let me see. I don't think I can hear you. Can you hear Nizam?
Okay, how about now?
Oh, I hear you now.
Yeah, okay, forgive me. Yeah, so I'm sure everyone knows everything I'm about to say, but I will say it, and it's important to hear over and over. Home and these teachings and Phuntsok's offering are a place for us to come and engage with Buddhist and Tibetan Buddhist thought in a very practical and meaningful way that relates to our lives, in a way that helps us weave it into how we live our lives and our actions and our behaviors and our responses to the world that we live in. And Phuntsok offers this twice a month, and it's a donation-based offering. And I'll put into the chat Phuntsok's Venmo and PayPal and Patreon in case you are moved to donate or support in a more regular fashion through Patreon. This has been happening for, oh my God, I want to say at least a decade. I'm not even sure if that's true. I've been sitting with Phuntsok for, maybe 7 years now, 6, 7 years. So it's been going on for a long time. It's incredible that it has maintained its velocity. And just to put on your radar, in case you're ever interested in going deeper with Phuntsok and his teachings, there is a retreat coming up this fall, actually over Thanksgiving at the end of November, in Kenya on an island called Lamu. And I think maybe Phuntsok can share a little bit more about that if you like Phuntsok, or if you haven't already received an email, please let me or Phuntsok know, and we can send you more information about that. And Phuntsok, would you like to say something about that before I introduce the topic for tonight?
I mean,
ooh, I need to record this. I'm recording this.
Okay. Yeah, those of you who've attended what used to be called the Friday night class, we, after some times going over a topic, we used to go on a retreat for like a weekend or a week at most. And for a long time, this hasn't happened. But this retreat is not really in tradition. It's not really in keeping with that tradition, but rather it was a student who came to one of the classes that I led, who wanted to take this back home with her. And she invited me to lead a retreat. And that happened right before COVID. And it was very nice. The Lamu is just incredibly beautiful. We basically hung out and we meditated sometimes. Yeah, people, I think, enjoyed it. A lot of people were completely new to meditation, and perhaps maybe one or two persons there were somewhat already familiar with meditation, but it was mostly a lot of people who were not new to, who were very new to meditation. But everyone got something out of it, I hope. And because of that, they've been asking her, when are you going to do this again? When are you going to do this again? And because of COVID, we haven't been able to do it again. So this time we have, and besides, Kenya was closed for a very long time because of COVID. So because of the travel restrictions being lifted, so we can go back to doing that retreat again, which is like an extended weekend. We will be meditation, some movement, and then enjoy delicious food, and of course enjoy Lamu. It was first just her friends who she invited. She wanted to introduce her friends to it, and this time it's open to everyone who wants to come. Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, so get in touch if you want more information about that. And so today's topic, we're going to revisit ignorance as one of the stages, one of the links of dependent origination in the 12 links of dependent origination, which is really the heart of the Buddhist understanding of suffering and enlightenment, and kind of how that process occurs over a lifetime or multiple lifetimes. And ideally, hopefully, if all goes well, it will be presented in a way that is very practical and grounded, in a way that can really help you understand how ignorance gets woven into your experience, the ways that we can work with it and understand it, and hopefully engage with it meaningfully, so that maybe we can make choice around that and not be at the whim or at the kind of folly of ignorant behavior or unconscious action. And just to sort of soften, that word, I think it was in the email as well, the sense that ignorance, it pervades our experience, and we all have it to a certain degree. And so our kind of journey in many ways is just like this slow transforming of ignorance into awareness or consciousness. So yeah, I hope that does the topic justice. And with that, I'll hand it over to Phuntsok, and yeah, enjoy the evening.
All right, thank you very much. And I have to give gratitude to all of you who've continued to support through Patreon. It's really appreciated. And I wish there was a way that I can express my deep appreciation other than just saying I appreciate it, but just know that I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you very much for your support. Okay, thank you. So I wanted to address ignorance in such a way that as soon as this talk is over, that you want to go home and say, oh my goodness, I gotta do something, okay? And also to take it out of the context of being some philosophical, beautiful, some philosophical thing to decorate your mind or to decorate conversations to make you sound, oh my God, this person is quite scholastic. This person is quite smart. Look how this person is spewing out such difficult words to understand. Okay, that person seems to know so much, but rather to see ignorance. Not only ignorance is not something that you read about. ignorance is not something that you only encounter when you're reading some text on philosophy, but rather as you are living as we are living our daily lives, for us to witness, this is ignorance. This is ignorance. This is ignorance. That was ignorance. That was because of ignorance. Oh, I'm thinking this way because of ignorance. I did that because of ignorance. I had said those things because of ignorance. I am stuck like this because of ignorance. Okay. I had that experience because of ignorance. And when we start to see ignorance like this, then the sense of urgency to do something about it will be much stronger. And that way we can, by seeing ignorance this way, by seeing it in a way that is visceral, that is intimate, by actually allowing ourselves to see it, then we can begin to access our wisdom. The purpose of knowing wisdom is not to come to the conclusion, oh my goodness, I'm so stupid. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of knowing ignorance is to see how the mind is working, how our mind is working, so that we eventually can begin to befriend. And then instead of allowing the mind, this incredible, beautiful instrument, instead of allowing it to constantly be the companion of ignorance, but begin to give rise instead to wisdom. Okay, instead of invoking ignorance, we begin to invoke wisdom. Okay. And I will give a lot of personal experiences about this. Okay. And I hope through my through the examples that I gave you for my personal experience, that you can use it to guide you so that you can begin to see ignorance. Okay. All right. So how do we begin? We begin with a meditation. It's been quite a long time. I hope you've been keeping up with the meditation. Oh yes, we're starting at 8:15 from now on, because I think it's sort of better for everybody from on both coasts, because it's late enough so that it's late enough and early enough. Okay. So that you can have dinner, or you can have enough time on either coast, either before or after. Okay. All right. Okay. And then also I'm gonna try, I've been trying for over 10 years now to end on time. I'm gonna keep trying. Okay. I'm gonna keep trying to end on time. All right. So meditation is gonna be the same sort of trajectory that we've been doing with meditation lately, sort of like not so specific, but more about the state of mind itself, awareness itself, rather than some specific visualization. Every once in a while we'll do that, but it's going to be more focused on the meditative state itself, so that no matter what background and no matter what your imagination wants to make use of it, it can, whatever your imagination wants to do, it can do it without necessarily breaking the meditation. Okay. All right. So remember the 3 phases of meditation: enter it, stay in it, get out of it. Okay. The 3 stages of meditation, and each one is important. So let's get into it. Get into it. Tell yourself, I'm going to meditate. And let that thought be absorbed by everything that constitutes your being, your body, your energy, your mind, your emotions, and pay attention to how they are responding to this call, let us meditate. And the reason for that is you're already beginning to touch meditation just by that intention. And when you actually witness, oh, the body, I feel the body relaxing. That's a kind of getting into the meditation. I feel my emotions sort of collecting, becoming clear. That's a part of meditation. Okay. And when you witness these signs slowly arising, it gives the confidence that we need when we are in the meditative state itself, to help the meditative state gain strength. And believe it or not, it's a matter of relaxing. And as you go to the body, notice how the body is responding, and the intelligence in the body is communicating to you. It's saying, oh, make a little adjustment here, make a little adjustment there. Respect that communication. And to the best of your ability, make the adjustment consciously, deliberately, and witness how, having made the adjustment, the sense of being in the meditation is a bit deeper. The quiet is a bit quieter. The relaxation is a bit more relaxed. The sense of peace is a bit more peaceful. And you welcome those signs. Bring a sense of joy as you witness any of the signs in the body. Then witness the signs in the breath or energetically. Welcome them. There are signs that are unique to you that tells you specifically are in meditation or approaching meditation. And there are signs that are universal. A sense of calm to some degree in the body, in the energy, sense of energy, in the breath, in the mind, emotionally. Witness that, welcome it, rejoice that it's there. A pleasantness. And I say pleasantness because in the beginning, it might be just pleasant. And this pleasantness will slowly deepen, becoming joy, and eventually will become bliss. So any pleasantness that you witness yourself experiencing in the body, in the breath, energetically, in the mind, emotionally, welcome it, rejoice. After you've witnessed that the body, as well as it can at this moment, is in the best posture that it can take for you to go as deeply as you can in the meditation, then without pushing away the body, simply bring more awareness of the more subtle aspects going on. Perhaps the energy body or the breath. And notice the signs in the breath, the sense of calm, the sense of pleasantness, that the breath actually feels nice. And to help us sort of almost like sign the commitment. Yes, I'm committed in this session to enter meditation. We direct our attention to the breath and consciously take a deep breath. And as you release the breath, imagine that, not imagine it, but know that you are now entering deeper into your commitment to enter meditation. And follow the natural impulses that are coming as a response to the meditation. relaxing in the body, relaxing the breath, relaxing energetically, relaxing the mind. Notice how the calm is calmer. Notice how the pleasantness is more pleasant. Welcome them. Rejoice that they are more pleasant. Rejoice that it is calmer. And perhaps already some of you are experiencing various inner sensations. By sensations, I mean things coming from the sensory, what would have be coming from your senses, either visions or sights or something dealing with vision or certain kind of sounds or certain kind of tactile sensations, something that just wasn't there prior to your awareness of it. And you are connecting this experience to, it's because I'm in meditation. That's why I'm hearing this sound. That's why I'm sensing this sensation in my body. That's why I'm seeing these visions, these lights, these colors, these shapes. That's why memory seems to be flooding. Attribute that to because you are now deeper in meditation. And because of these more sensory experiences, 3 more universal experiences about meditation are present. Clarity, radiance, and focus. So to whatever degree that you're able to actually witness an inner sense perception, that is clarity. That is, the mind is making space. That space is clarity. And it's because the mind is making space, that's why these inner sensations are appearing. That's why that sound is appearing. That's why those visions are appearing. That's why those various tactile sensations are present. That's because your mind is clearing, making space. And they have a certain distinctiveness to them. This is sound, this is color, this is shape, this is heat, this is cool, this is movement. That's part of the clarity. And to what degree are they present rather than being, I had a vision, I heard a sound, but to what degree, how close are you to, I am hearing, I am seeing? That's the luminosity, that's the radiance. And how vivid are they? How sharp is the sound? How defined are these colors and shapes? How present are these sensations? And focus. And this is not something that you're forcing the mind to do. It's something that the mind is naturally doing. You're basically aligning yourself with it. You feel a sense of your thoughts collecting, a sense of attention making itself available to be directed by your intention, by your will. So to some degree, these 5 universal signs are present. And because they are present, you can have the confidence of knowing I am meditating. And this confidence of knowing you're meditating allows you to go even deeper, a deeper sense of calm, a greater sense of pleasantness, a greater sense of clarity, if the visions are clearer, the images are more distinct, that's because your mind is clearer. If they are more vivid, more present, that means your mind is brighter. And your mind doesn't seem to be under the sway of being distractible. That's focus, natural focus. So these signs are present. Rejoice. And to help stabilize the signs, you can use the breath to help stabilize. Consciously, deliberately take 3 full breaths. And as you breathe out, any of the signs that's the strongest, just stay with it. Like you're riding that sign. Go deeper into that sign. And at the end of that exhalation, stay there. Stay where the breath took you. Stay with the strength of that sign. And while in that level of that strength of that sign, take another deep breath. That's a flexing ability that you're doing right now. You're flexing your ability to stay. And then as you breathe out, you let yourself go deeper. Witness yourself going deeper. It may be that sign showing you that you're going deeper, or another sign shows you that you're going deeper. So whichever the sign is, follow it. Go deeper. Go deeper. Go deeper. And stay now in that depth. Deliberately make the intention to stay in that depth. And as you stay in that depth, take another deep breath. While you're staying there, take another deep breath. Staying there as you do so. And as you breathe out, let yourself go deeper, deeper into the calm, deeper into the pleasantness, deeper into the clarity, deeper into the radiance, deeper into the focus. And just stay there for a few seconds. If the calm draws you, go towards it. Enjoy it. And while you're enjoying the calm, the pleasantness, say, come to my side. Go to the calm, go to the pleasantness. Enjoy it. And if you want to stay with the pleasantness, stay with the pleasantness. If the clarity is calling for you, come, take a look here. Go to the clarity. Enjoy it. And as a way to help with focus, to help with going deeper, when you sense the tendency of the mind to be distracted, sort of being stirred, deliberately, consciously move your attention to one of the signs, to another sign. Stay there, enjoy it. Look at all the different hues of that sign, how it feels, all the different ways that it feels. That is a very nice space to invite a special someone. The you that you are looking for. The you that guides you, that tells you, I don't think this is what you want. Or the you that tells you, yeah, keep going, this is it. This is what you wanted. That somehow seems to know. Let it enter that space. Welcome it. Welcome it with deepest respect, with gratitude. And knowing that it is guiding you rightly. Trust it. Get ready to come out of the meditation. Yep, that was a meditation. So we're now doing the third phase, coming out. The way you begin to come out is to first, whatever you were doing before, you stop. And you just let yourself rest in the knowing, I am meditating. Look at the signs. Look at the calm in my body, in my breath, in my mind. Oh, look how more pleasant the pleasant is now in the body, in the breath, in the mind, emotionally. And if you're seeing very clear images or hearing very distinct sounds, tell yourself, look how clear the clarity is. Look how bright the luminosity is. And know that you have achieved, you're right now in a certain degree of the attention being collected. Witnessing that the signs are there, rejoice. I am in meditation. And each time you go into meditation, there's a certain signature, a certain momentum, you could say, that was built up just by the fact of being in meditation. It's a positive momentum. It's like raw energy that you can use, that you can direct. And the way you direct it is with your intention, with your sincere intentions. What is it that you sincerely would like to see happen? Just bring that to mind. And you can even say to yourself, may this good feeling or this sense of peace, or in whatever way you can summarize this sense of the meditation, bring such and such. And because you are meditating, you can actually come out of it. Now, make the intention to come out. And with that intention, use the breath again as the bridge. The same way you used it to go in, use it to come out. Take a nice, deep, conscious breath. And as you breathe out, let yourself reconnect with your immediate surroundings. Doesn't matter if you were aware of them before, but this time deliberately, consciously be aware of them. The different sounds, the different tactile sensations, and of course, the different colors, the shadows, the lights. Okay. If you're in meditation and then you find yourself having spent quite a bit of time, and it was you lost awareness of how uncomfortable your feet were, your knees were. Before you come out of the meditation, just take a little time to reconnect with the body. Okay, reconnect, bring attention back, bring consciousness back to the body. Okay. And then you can get up rather than just suddenly getting up. All right. Now into the topic. What this is not going to be. This is not going to be about me citing different scholars, different people, their works, their different books, with them describing ignorance in a way so that you can write a dissertation and then you can get a PhD. Okay. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is for you to go into your life, to go into your mind, to say, this was ignorance. This was ignorance. And the reason why I got into this topic is because of, when life slaps you in the face, that's when you become very aware of life. Oh, whoa, I'm alive. Look at all this pain. And immediately you want to know, where did this come from? All of a sudden, wisdom becomes a very important thing. Where's wisdom? Come save me. I'm stuck. I'm in a place, where I don't want to be, and I don't know how to get out. So the thing to do is to begin to be honest about what you're experiencing. Yes, it is painful. Yes, it hurts. Remember, that's the first sign of wisdom, that you are aware of what's actually taking place, what's actually present. This is awful. I don't like having this experience. Okay. And this is actually making space for you to actually become aware of, okay, now that you made space, let's go. Now we can actually begin to look at this. And this is the only sort of scholastic thing I'm going to do tonight. The word ignorance itself doesn't really convey the full breadth of what is being trying to be communicated, because we have conditions of how we understand that word itself, ignorance. Ignorance seems to be more like I didn't know. But the use of the term ignorance is not I didn't know. You could say, in addition to I didn't know, there was a sense of I know. So a better interpretation of what is being trying to convey is misunderstanding. So it's not just because you don't know the true nature of reality, that's why the wheel of samsara is turning. See, that sounds like you're supposed to go to college, get a PhD, then you can get out of samsara. Okay. No, it's not because you didn't know something, but rather we are having experiences and we are imposing on the experience an understanding that is not in alignment with the experience. Basically, we are not in touch with the experience. And there are many reasons as to why we do not allow ourselves to be in alignment with the experience that we are having. And interestingly enough, that within us, which created this misunderstanding, is not necessarily a bad guy. It's not necessarily coming from an evil intention. Okay. And that's a healthy way to begin to approach ignorance. When I was studying and I was introduced to this thing to ignorance, conceptually, in studying, the way I began to approach it was like, oh, now I know something. I know something called ignorance. And there was a kind of a pride that sort of developed because I'm knowing something that I didn't know before. And especially in comparison with those people who haven't heard that. So I know something that they don't know. But it also, I didn't really want to know it, because there was also a sense of, look how bad you are. You have ignorance. Look what you have done. You have created a whole existence of samsaric existence, of all pain. Look what you have done. You with your ignorance. I definitely didn't want to be held responsible entirely for the mess that I see around me. So I didn't want to go into knowing exactly how I created this mess, how I became responsible for this mess. It's supposed to be ignorance. So ignorance was kept like an abstract, a nice thing to know about, a nice thing to bring up when you're in a party and then there's a lot of people around and they're having conversations, and you say, you don't know ignorance, do you? Let me tell you something called ignorance. Well, Nagarjuna said in that text, and then Jesogapa interpreted that way, and then now did this and that, and the Theravadins and this and that, and all that is not talking about ignorance at all. All that is my ego talking about what I know, what I think I know. Okay. But in the meantime, ignorance is there, very much alive. Okay. So I did say this is the only sort of like scholastic thing I'm going to approach. So the term ignorance doesn't really fit the way we understand ignorance and the idea that is being conveyed. It's more about a misunderstanding. But it's not just a misunderstanding, but it's an active misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding with the sense of this is right, this is true. So misunderstanding, that's very important. Misunderstanding. Now, the term that English is trying to translate and then comes up with the word ignorance is the Sanskrit term avidya or avidya. Okay. Avidya. Vidya is knowing, and means the absence of that, not knowing, or non-knowing, or non-awareness sometimes. The Tibetans, they're translated as marikpa. Ma means the negation, and then rikpa means knowing or awareness. So non-awareness of something, non-knowing of something. Okay. But still, the thing to understand about ignorance is that it is not purely philosophical. Okay. Where do we encounter ignorance? And what does it do? And that's the most important thing to come to know about ignorance. It's not simply to know it. Oh, that's ignorance. Like that's a truck, that's a bus. Okay, what's next? But rather, what is it doing? Okay, that's why I said at the end of this, you're going to come up with, oh my goodness. You have to come up with, oh my goodness, at the end of this. What is it doing to us constantly, all the time? What is it doing? How active is ignorance within us? Is it only, we have ignorance only, oh, there's something called emptiness. Oh, I never heard of that before. Okay, you have ignorance because you never heard of the word emptiness before, and you don't know how to explain it. That's not what ignorance is talking about. Okay. Take that out of your mind. Ignorance is not supposed to be philosophical. That's the first thing. Okay, now we left that we're leaving that world behind about words just to get an appreciation of the term ignorance. And what is it that it's really, what are we really talking about when we refer to ignorance? Remember, it is a misunderstanding. There's an active part within it. That it misunderstands an experience, but it's not just, I don't know that there's something about the experience that I don't know, but rather I'm imposing something on the experience that has nothing to do with the experience. And that's the key thing there. There's an imposition. We are imposing something onto it that has nothing to do with it. And you can understand why rikpa, awareness, vidya, knowing, is such an important component in there. So basically, you're looking and you're not seeing. And that's kind of a funny situation for me to be using those terms, because just until this afternoon, I wasn't able to see clearly. I lost my lenses. I had to wait for them to come in, and believe me, it was horrible, not being able to see clearly. And it's amazing how, as soon as I was able to put on the lens, put in the lens, my mood changed immediately. Before then, I was saying, "Woe me, woe me, woe me," and I couldn't get myself out of that woe me situation. But as soon as the lens were in, all of a sudden, as if that didn't happen at all. I was not in that state at all. So that was me. That wasn't me. Okay. So it's something is there, but we're not seeing it. And why is it that we are not seeing it? Why are we, instead of seeing it, we are imposing what it's supposed to be? Why are we doing that? Okay. And this is why this is a healthy way of approaching our ignorance. Believe it or not, our ignorance intention is not to mislead us, but rather to protect us. Okay, it's wrong. The result is not what the intention was, but the intention wasn't, oh, you need to be deceived, so I'm going to deceive you. But rather, the intention was to protect. You're relating with someone. You have your baggage with you, coming from your misunderstanding that happened, of what happened to you in the past. Okay? You can even say you were very young, you didn't have the ability to understand certain things. And this is a level of ignorance, okay? Level of misunderstanding. Something happened. And you were expecting something but you received something else, something like the opposite of it, that sort of shocked you. And the mind, your mind wanted you, oh, wait a minute, you're having a bad experience here, let me protect you. Since seeing this is what is causing you to have this bad experience, you should not see. But since you have to engage the world, I will project something for you to see. Okay? So whatever happened to you when you were when you were young, it could have been, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that was that everyone could agree and say, oh, that was an awful thing to have happened. But you yourself, it was not something that you wanted to experience. Your parents came late, and that was, you couldn't handle it. Okay? because your parents were always around, all of a sudden you needed them and then they were not around. So that could have been, at that moment, was a shocking, traumatic thing for you. And your mind wants to protect you, creates this misunderstanding of the situation. And what are the possible misunderstanding of the situation? My parents aren't here because I'm not lovable. The duty of a parent is to love, and they're not present because I am an unlovable object. Because they can only do what is right. So this misunderstanding, we carry it with us. And I'm giving this somewhat unprofessional presentation of ignorance using psychology, so that you can now apply it more broadly. Okay. Ignorance is not just about psychology. Okay. And the reason for using this example is so that for us to begin to see that this is not, our ignorance is not just something that we're going to uncover by reading Tsongkhapa, by reading Nagarjuna, by reading Lama, whoever, okay? But something that is with us all the time, okay? So now you're much older, now you're in relationships, but this misunderstanding is there, it's active. It says, I am unlovable. And for me, that is a truth. I am unlovable. And when you enter into, when you're relating with other people, somehow we are looking for validation that I am unlovable. And this is what ignorance, this is where ignorance is becoming dangerous. Because I have the blinders of misunderstanding, it is a truth that I am unlovable, which is ignorance. Now it blinds me. If someone is giving me signs that they love me, I'm not able to see it. I might even interpret those signs that they're loving me as the opposite of that, that they're not loving me. Or I might even witness, yes, those are signs that they love me, but the truth is I'm unlovable. There's something wrong going on here. There's something wrong with that person, or there's something wrong in this experience. This person is loving someone else and they think it's me. I'll stay with this person for a little bit, and eventually this person will see that I'm not lovable. And what will ignorance make you do? If we don't see signs that validates that I'm not a lovable, I'm not to be loved, then I will create situations where the outcome should be, I don't love you anymore. So that I can say, see, I am unlovable. So that's one level of ignorance, being active and present. We draw conclusions that are based on misunderstandings. We carry these conclusions with us, unfortunately, subconsciously. We're not consciously saying to ourselves, I am unlovable. Let me look for the signs that I'm unlovable. We could be completely unaware of that we are carrying this with us. Completely unaware that we are carrying this with us. But it is definitely interacting with all our interactions. It's helping us make decisions. Who to go towards, who to go away from, what to go towards, what to go away from, what to engage in, what to not engage in. then when we begin to witness that our lives is not going in the direction that we wanted to, this relationship is not going in the direction that it should, there seems to be the signs that everything is present, but there's something missing, something like that. Or for some reason, you're not able to fully appreciate what's going on, the relationship. Then ignorance, this misunderstanding, if we're not aware that it's misunderstanding that is guiding, that has been guiding us so far, then misunderstanding comes and say, let me help you. Let me help you. What does that mean? Misunderstanding, wanting to help you. Now it means, let me create some further misunderstanding for you, to give you the sense that you're being helped. Develop this characteristic, develop that characteristic, develop this idea, develop this vision of yourself. But when ignorance, when misunderstanding is what is helping you develop these characteristics, these different qualities, then they're based on ignorance. And they could be beautiful ideas, they'd be beautiful qualities to have, but with ignorance as their foundation. I should be more compassionate. I should be more loving. I should be more generous. All these, there seems to be a consensus. Yes, those are beautiful qualities to have. Yeah, you should develop them. But what appears to be developing compassion, what appears to be developing love and generosity, is really being governed by, I'm not lovable. So we have compassion, but it's not real compassion. We have love, but it's not real love. We have generosity, but it's not real generosity. They are merely, in some way, expressions of our misunderstanding. Not that compassion, not that love, not that generosity are things that are born out of misunderstanding. But the compassion that we developed is not real compassion. Where here again, another layer of misunderstanding, another layer of ignorance comes in. You're not lovable, one layer. And then on top of that, the layer of, oh, you are a compassionate person. Then you're engaging other people. You're relating with other people with the idea, I'm a compassionate person. I'm a compassionate person. I'm a loving person. I'm a generous person. And you don't see how this image of you being a compassionate person is actually harming the person you're supposedly directing compassion towards. It's like, this is compassion, it's good, now eat it. What's the matter with you? Eat this compassion. This compassion is good for you. Better eat this compassion. This is a good thing for you to have, and I'm giving it to you. You better have it. Instead of opening your eyes, having rikpa, having awareness, what is actually happening here? What is actually happening here? And what should be my true heartfelt response to this situation? So you create this image of being, I'm a compassionate person, never actually test it, but it piles up in the ego. I'm a compassionate person, I'm a compassionate person, I'm a generous person. And a beggar comes and asks you, what's that person doing bothering me for? Okay, here's something, leave me away. I'm generous. I'm a generous person. I just exercise my generosity. But what was really at play there? I was annoyed. And I fooled myself to believe that I was being generous, I was being compassionate. This fooling of myself, this misunderstanding of what my real motivation is, that's ignorance. And it gets to a level where this seemingly very crystal image of who I am, this very crystal image of who I am seems to be, yeah, this is the truth, this is who I am. When it is challenged, instead of, if it's truly the image of who you are, when it's being challenged, you should, the term, the definition of truth in terms of dharma is that which loves challenge. You should be feeling, somebody's asking me to display myself. Let me display myself. But what is coming out is not the image of what you thought you were, then that is a shock to you. Then we respond with anger towards the person who's challenging us. We respond with anger towards our own selves, because we are being presented with a truth that we didn't think was a truth. That's a noble thing to do. That's a noble thing to have the intention to do. But if it's the scared little kid who misunderstood something that happened way back then, that is really present, and I'm completely unaware that this is this scared kid who's present right now, and I'm imposing on that scared kid, oh, this is being compassionate. And you end up, and this is what misunderstanding, what ignorance ends up doing, it ends up harming you, it ends up harming the other. When the 12 links of dependent origination presented, is presented, and ignorance is said is the root of everything that falls, everything that follows, that ends up with misery and all that kind of thing, all those kinds of things, dissatisfaction, being forced to be in situations that you don't want to be in, all that is coming from ignorance, coming from misunderstanding. Misunderstanding of what? Not allowing ourselves to be truly present with whatever is going on. I am angry. If that's what's actually going on and you are aware of it, that's wisdom. Okay. It's not the anger itself that is being identified as the wisdom, but rather being aware that this is what's actually taking place. I'm angry. And when we allow ourselves to be with what actually going on, then wisdom can sort of guide us to, this is the misunderstanding that created this. So build up this image. I'm a compassionate person. Build up this image of myself as being a loving person, generous person. That's who I am. Then relating with someone, being blinded by what actually is present. What is it that they're actually experiencing from the way I'm relating? Because I'm imposing something else into the situation rather than allowing myself to experience and perceive what is actually taking place there. And this person gets hurt. And then my ignorance tells me, you're a compassionate person. What's the matter with that person? You're just being compassionate. There's something wrong with that person. Okay, tolerate the person. Eventually, that person will grow and they become more mature and then have a bit of compassion within them. And what was really guiding me, my compassionate act, was the scared kid who misunderstood the situation, who thinks is not loving, not an object of to be loved. And in what he believes was an act of compassion was really, I'm afraid of you not loving me. I'm afraid of you not loving me. That's what was really taking place. Sorry if it's sounding too abstract. I guess I don't want to give in too much because I'm actually, if you sense it, I'm actually relating actual experience. Because I am not allowing myself to come to terms that what is really present here is I'm afraid of not being loved. That is the truth, but it is disguised as being generous. It is disguised as being compassionate. And so disguised, what I'm doing something, allowing myself to be hurt. I said, that's what the compassionate thing is supposed to do. You're supposed to allow yourself to be hurt. But if you understand karma a little bit, so we're actually helping the person engage in something that is harmful. Let this person harm me, it's okay. Because that's the compassionate thing to do. Is that what's really there? Is this what is presenting itself to me? And I say, oh yeah, that's what's present. That's what's present. I'm okay with being harmed. Or is it, I am terrified of this person not liking me, so let them hurt me. If I allow them to hurt me, then maybe they will like me. Maybe they will love me. And so the ignorance here is not being aware of what is truly driving me to act. And the ignorance also is not really seeing this person that I'm engaging with, this person that I'm relating with. I'm not able to see them because my ignorance is covering my experience. And I'm thinking this is the truth. Because of being ignorant, that is, because of not being present, that I suffered trauma. Because I'm not present, that these traumas have created identities for me that have nothing to do with reality. Because I'm not aware of them, but rather I am imposing on those trauma a different identity. I am a compassionate person, but I'm just scared. But in reality, I'm just scared of not being loved. I'm a generous person, but in reality, that I'm just covering up my trauma of being terrified of someone not liking me. Okay? And because of that, because that's what's actually present, that's what's actually acting, that's what actually making me relate. I'm relating with someone, I'm not able to see them. I'm not able to really know who I am with, because my ignorance is telling me what's present. My misunderstanding is telling me what's present. To the point where even very noble ideas get twisted. And when you've lived a very long time with these very twisted, with these noble ideas being very twisted, and you somehow some other traumatic experience begin to make you see how twisted those noble ideas have become, then you become paralyzed. You will become paralyzed. You will not know what to do anymore, because you actually thought it was actual compassion. You actually thought it was actual generosity. It was actual love, actual seeing someone. And we become stuck in our tiny little world, moving in the world and not seeing the world. And even you're surrounded by 1 million people, you will feel alone because you're not allowing yourself to really engage the world. And it could happen on the opposite also, where you're throwing flowers on everything. If there are flowers everywhere, then let them present themselves to you. If these experiences are actually beautiful, let them present themselves to you. And through your own experience, you will know, yes, this is a pleasant experience. This is a wonderful experience. These are beautiful experiences. But if they're not beautiful experiences, then in trying to protect you from these awful experiences, that's what the mind wants to do. It wants to protect you from these awful experiences. It will create ignorance. It will say, we're having a problem dealing with this reality, so we need a different reality. So this is no longer, what is in front of you is no longer reality. this thing that I create for you, that's reality now. Now go in the world, and that's the reality you're dealing with. Then if your mind, the way to protect you was to tell you, oh, everything is really actually beautiful. So when someone is harming you, you're thinking, when the actual experience is, wait a minute, I am being harmed, then immediately you will try to interpret it as, wait, there's something wrong with me. This is actually beautiful, and somehow I'm not seeing it for what it is. It's actually beautiful. So ignorance create false worlds that seems to be beautiful, and also creates false worlds that seems to be unpleasant. It seems to be unpleasant, so you can stay away from it. It seems to be beautiful, so that you don't really see what's there. So after some time of building up this false, ignorance keeps building up this false image, this false world. And more we unconsciously believe this false world. The sooner we begin to unravel it, the better. The later we begin to unravel, the more difficult it will be. Now, I'm completely confused as to what is really compassion. I thought what I was doing was compassion. It's not so much that fundamentally we don't know what compassion is. The reason that we were drawn towards it, because in a deep sense, we knew what it was. That's why we were drawn towards it. It's just that we approached it with our misunderstanding, and our misunderstanding twisted it. And we think we are acting out of compassion, but we are actually acting out of our trauma, out of our misunderstanding. And when this world that we have created is so crystallized, that is, it's so divorced from actual experience, we will find ourselves ready to defend it at the cost of annihilation. Everyone wants to know the truth. Everyone wants to know the truth. It's going to sound funny. Everyone wants to know the truth to the degree that we will create one. Okay? We can only be at peace with what we accept as being the truth, to the degree that we will create a truth. And we will move in the world with this thing that we believe to be the truth. And when it is challenged, since we have locked our identity to this, we are willing to destroy to uphold that truth. Truth has this quality to it, real truth. It doesn't need defending. In a sense of, it doesn't need us, because truth is not afraid of going out of existence. okay? So it doesn't need to go into a fight because it is the only thing that will endure. All these other things will eventually pass away, and truth will be the only thing that will endure. So why should truth engage itself into silly fights in trying to prove itself? It is, you could say, it is evident. And the way to see it is to simply open our eyes to it. And it will more than happy reveal itself. Remember, truth is a diva, loves to be seen. Oh, my goodness. All right, now I'm gonna bring a summation to this, if I can. Ignorance is a veil that hides what is our true experience. It is imposing on our experience something that is not in alignment with it. And because of that, because we are not in, our true nature is connection. Ignorance disconnects us. Because it disconnects us, and because our nature is connection, as long as ignorance is present, we will feel there's something missing. We will be aware of the disconnection at some level. We will crave it. Because it disconnects us. When it makes us not really engage the world. It makes us lonely. Because we are, in our nature is connection. And so it creates this sense of disconnection. And this very last thing, it is not that the mind had an intention, let me deceive you, but rather there's an experience. We were not mature enough to deal with it face to face. And we thought we encountered ugliness, and our mind, wanting to protect us, created this fake beauty. So in that very process, you can say, in the depth of our being, we are seeking beauty. And what is that beauty? We are seeking our true nature. That is what is beauty, our true nature. We are seeking it. And since ignorance is hiding reality, and beauty is in reality, we are keeping ourselves from experiencing beauty. Whatever it is that is the actual experience, no matter whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, if it's connected with something that is actually happening, it will take you to beauty. I'm not saying go look for bad experiences and then see if you can get see beauty at the end, okay? But whatever is happening, if it's really happening, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, be with it. Don't tell your mind, thank you very much for wanting to protect me. I can handle this. I'd rather deal with what's actually there than creating a false world that I grow to completely believe in and eventually have to dismantle. Dismantling this false world is very painful. So rather than experience the pain of having to dismantle a false world, which may last a very long time, it's best to spend the moment of the seeming unpleasant experience with whatever is present. And then eventually, by being present with it, we can get to the beauty that is beyond it. I'm not saying that the pain itself is beautiful, but the pain itself will connect you to beauty. Okay? Be present with what's there. And I'm feeling that I didn't really do justice to what I was really feeling about ignorance. The reason I wanted to talk about ignorance is because having realized how ignorance has messed up my life, and it's not that I didn't understand Nagarjuna properly or I didn't understand Jesongkapa properly. That's not why, that's not how ignorance messed up my life, but rather by not being very present with what's going on so I can know I have this trauma to deal with it. You better deal with it. And going around with disguising my trauma with, I am a compassionate person. I'm a generous person. And finding out that, you know, the intention of compassion is to help, is truly help. But you find out that my expression of compassion wasn't helping anybody. Nobody was being helped. So it wasn't compassion. My generosity wasn't really helping. I was just covering up my trauma. Instead of finding yourself in a world where you're completely confused about things that are noble, and you find yourself, now I am paralyzed. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what's good or bad anymore. Because I thought I was convinced that this is what good was. I was convinced this is what bad was. Now starting all over again like a kindergarten kid. Okay. But I'm ashamed. Yes, that's the reality. I have to deal with it. Okay. And be careful. When you tell your mind, this is unpleasant, your mind cares for you. Oh, this is unpleasant. All right, let's make you not see this anymore. Let's create something that you would like. Something that will give you a sense of you're safe. Okay. Originally, I wanted to entitle this My Beef with Ignorance. Because when I realized that, oh my goodness, the reason that I lost this, the reason that I lost this thing that was precious to me, the reason that I'm no longer connected to that, it was ignorance disguising itself as my wisdom. And I wanted to go find ignorance and beat, you know. But later on, I came to realize that it was just my mind trying to protect me from something that I just didn't have at that moment the capacity to handle. All right. Thank you very much. And yeah, keeping up the tradition. We're ending later than than planned. I hope you had dinner before or on this coast, and the other coast. I hope there's enough time for you to still have dinner. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Phuntsok.
Phuntsok, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I miss you so much. It's so good to see you. I can't even really see myself.
Well, I can almost.
Are you in Brooklyn?
Yes. Okay. All right. I don't know if you have enough time to have to ask questions. If any questions were, I don't know, came up in your mind. Okay. All right.
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Thanks for coming back, Phuntsok.
Thank you. Thank you for waiting, and thank you for coming here. All right.
I'm ready for part 2 whenever you're ready, Phuntsok.
Okay.
Part 2,
All right.
part 3, whatever.
You feel that there's a part 2, right?
Oh yeah.
Ignorance 2.0, huh?
Oh yeah. It was just getting good, man.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Well, I don't know how to say this exactly, but I'll do my best. It seems to me that what you're describing that's the human condition, where you have something happen and you're not happy with it and you feel like a sense of loss and you blame yourself and you'd say that I'm not good enough and all of that. It just seems like people do that. And I think it's important to say, I did that and that's how I am. And I accept that I'm not perfect and I'm trying, and to love yourself, that to try to have compassion for yourself before anybody else. I think that's what I'm learning.
Yeah. And it may sound selfish to say to have compassion for yourself before anybody else, but it's really saying have compassion and then spread it. Okay. Yeah. And this is the closest one to receive the compassion. So begin with the closest one. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. Okay then. So it's really late. Sorry. So we'll do a very, very short, like it will take a very few seconds, maybe 1 minute meditation. Believe it or not, we can do a 1 minute meditation. So tell yourself you're going to meditate. Remember the state of meditation that you experience and let it be clear enough in your mind that you begin to experience it. And as you even just taste it, no matter how long the taste lasts, just take a nice deep breath. And as you breathe out, let yourself fall into that taste. Let yourself fall into that taste, that experience of being in meditation. Feel it in the body, feel it in the breath, feel it in the mind, feel it in your emotions. Notice the presence of the signs, the calm, the pleasantness, the clarity, the radiance, the focus. To whatever degree that their presence, welcome them, rejoice. You're in meditation. And begin to sense your signature of meditation, the sign that you are in meditation, the sign that sort of combines and summarizes all the different sensations that's connected to meditation. Understand this to be a pure potential. And think of something that is of real concern to you, heartfelt concern, and direct this positive potential towards that concern. Gyo di kyo ken. Sunam yeshe tokzo shin. Sunam yeshe le chungwe. Tamba kunyi tobar sho. Rejoice that you're experiencing meditation. Make the intention to come out. Take a nice deep breath. And as you breathe out, let yourself reconnect with your immediate surroundings, your sense of touch, your sense of hearing, your sense of sight. And thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Phuntsok.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom and misunderstanding.
Thank you. Wow. Some faces I haven't seen in a long time, so happy to see you guys.
Beautiful tonight, Phuntsok. Thank you.
Thank you.
Every Thursday, right? Every Thursday.
Every other Thursday.
The other Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
All right.
Nice to see everyone tonight.
Yes. Bye.
Thank you, Phuntsok.
Thank you.
Your words were resonating so deeply.
Okay. I'm happy.
It's 3:30 in the morning, so
Yeah.
in France it's 3:30 in the morning.
Wow. I guess you had dinner already. All right.
It resonated so deeply. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Okay, Nizam, you have the power.
I just heard from Allison.
Ah, how's Allison?
Not real sure. She's not well, but just at least I finally got a reply. I think I sent her an email 2 months ago or something.
Ah, okay. All right. So she's responding a little bit. She's responded to some degree.
Yeah, she's coming out.
Okay. Great. All right. Okay. Oh, I can't hear you, Nizam.
Sorry. Yeah.
Ah.
Well, everybody seemed to be gone now, but
Okay.
see you in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. See you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.